All right, I got one last story here, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
This one is going to get you mad. That's why I always save these for the last.
All right.
This one's going to get the Chris Aiken machine fired up.
Great. So now I won't sleep. Perfect.
With all those beers, you'll go to sleep.
I probably will.
All right. Well, anyway, here's one that is this is one that just gets you boiling.
Okay.
A trans conference celebrates getting people fired for not calling men women.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Right.
Okay.
I was scared to go alone to my ultrasound, so I took a friend. Throughout the procedure, the nurse kept referring to me as a she. Each time my friend would correct her. After a while, the nurse seemed confused. She's having a baby, she insisted. No, my friend responded. He's having a baby.
No.
It was very upsetting. A week later, the nurse called and left a voicemail with the result of the exam. His cervix and blood work look healthy, she said. I was so happy. The nurse had finally gotten it.
No.
This is one of the stories I heard at a recent conference on how to create a transgender inclusive workspace culture.
What?
I went because I wanted to learn the perspective from transgender individuals personally. I also realized that if this is the workplace of the future, I would rather be prepared ahead of time than surprised later.
Fuck this.
The conference was administered by a group of transgender individuals from male to female, female to male, and even gender to genderless.
Gender to genderless?
Yes.
Okay.
Predictably, it wasn't a conference for the squeamish. Throughout the day, we were regaled with stories of penis amputations, breasts being bound or removed, and even someone who removed their nipples because those represented either gender.
Okay. So wow. A lot of good questions here.
Right.
If you're not a man or a chick, if you're not A or B, where do you piss from? What do you keep? Just a wound?
I guess.
Do you just keep a hole somewhere?
I guess. You're just a genderless being.
So if you're a genderless being, does that mean that there's no sex at all in your life?
Apparently not.
Jesus.
Chromosomes don't do or mean anything. The day began by educating us that the gender binary, that is the idea that people are born either male or female, was societal lore, like Santa Claus or the boogeyman.
Societal lore.
It's just a myth.
Okay.
It's just a myth. Doesn't exist.
All right.
We were given a reference card to put in our wallets detailing which questions we were allowed to ask a transgender person and which questions were forbidden.
What do you mean forbidden?
Means you're not allowed to ask a transgender person certain questions.
Fuck off. But you're supposed to kowtow to them.
Yes, of course. It's the tail that wags the dog.
You're supposed to bend over backwards for them, but you can't ask why.
No.
Fuck you.
Questions like, what pronoun do you use? And may I correct someone if they use the wrong pronoun? we're acceptable, while what are you, and are you a boy or a girl, we're not acceptable.
Okay.
We role play these conversations, encouraged to think about who's inside the body.
What?
Yeah. The vessel or the body doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, what the body is, whether it's a female or a male. It's just the spirit within.
Where are the fucking people of medical knowledge to say that all these fuckers are insane? How is that being missed? How is that being missed? That this is not fucking insane. No. Every goddamn not civilization, but
civilized society,
and even the barely civilized society, the fucking barbarians all over the planet, wherever you live, they identify as male or female.
Right.
So the whole world is wrong, and this 1/100th of 1% of America's only population is right.
Right.
And we're going to bend over backwards for this minute amount of people instead of the other 7.5 billion fucking people on this planet.
Right.
This is so fucking out of whack. That fucking Obama is a real fucking cunt for fucking up this country the way he did.
Right.
What a fucking jizzbag.
Yep.
Jesus.
We went over transgender vocabulary from terms like gender queer to gender variant to gender non-conforming.
I'm glad I don't know what any of those mean. I'm glad that I have no idea what the definition of those things are. Do you know what those mean?
Well, this person agrees with you. While I still don't understand the difference, it was encouraging that the transgender panelists, who were often confused themselves in using the wrong gender terms or pronouns, frequently corrected each other. After a particularly confusing mix-up, they laughed and said much of what we know about transgender could be obsolete in a few years, because transgender children describe themselves as gender smoothies.
Gender smoothies?
Gender smoothies.
And how old are these gender smoothies?
Well, they said children, transgender children.
How can a fucking 8-year-old be making a decision about what their fucking gender is? How does that even fucking make any fucking sense at all?
I don't know the answer.
What the... All right. Go ahead.
I was fascinated to learn that there is a pecking order within transgender culture known as privileged trans.
Privileged trans.
The privileged trans.
Okay.
The first tier of a privileged transgender is someone wealthy enough to be able to afford the full gauntlet of surgeries to appear as a man or a woman. Unprivileged transgenders must settle with cross-dressing and shaving. However, the highest level of privilege is someone who is both wealthy and already has certain physical attributes of the preferred sex, such as a feminine facial features, a low voice, or broad shoulders.
Like Chaz Bono.
Yeah.
That's a privileged trans.
Right, exactly.
Rich chick that now looks like a dude, so they just fucking stuck a beard on and said, okay, you're a dude now.
Exactly.
All right.
So if you're rich enough, you can afford anything.
All right, well, good.
The pendulum,
Pendulum?
It's PENULTIMATE. Penultimate goal of transition is when a person is in stealth, which means one is always recognized by strangers as one intended gender. When you're in stealth, you no longer have to worry about being read, in which a stranger tries to figure out whether you're a boy or a girl. So you're not a Pat. Remember, it's Pat?
It's Pat.
Remember that?
I'll bet you I would be willing to bet you that movie is nowhere to be found now.
Right.
I'll bet you cannot get it on any streaming service
Sure.
because it would be offensive.
Of course it would. They showed a video in which a construction worker ogled a transgender woman, with the transgender woman's inner monologue being, "Hey, maybe things are changing for the better. I found it odd that something that is considered a microaggression in the feminist world in the zenith of is in the zenith of compliments for in the transgender world." So a real woman would find a guy checking her out as being a microaggression, but a transgender who's now went from being a man to pretending to be a woman, being ogled, is a compliment.
Yeah, until they go to hook up and that construction worker finds that dick and beats her to death with a fucking 2x4.
Right. He's a Shayla.
Yeah,
Remember
beat him to death.
Crocodile Dundee? He's a Shayla.
It'll be a problem too.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be the big crime of the next 10 years?
Well, the thing is that I also read a story earlier that transgender in Sao Paulo, Brazil,
yeah,
there's a lot of them going on, and a lot of them are being killed.
Yeah.
That there is a massive killing of transgender people down there.
I think ISIS's stance is on transgender.
Oh, they would definitely kill you.
They
They can't take gays. They're not gonna stand for a transgender.
So how is it that the transgenders are saying, let them in? Bring in the refugees.
I don't know the answer.
That way the refugees can throw you off the fucking wall.
Exactly. But as I said, in Brazil, people are killing these transgenders right and left down there.
Yeah.
It's like they got to go.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to... I know it's a hot topic now. I don't ever see it becoming mainstream. Do you?
It's tough. Well, let me get to the crux of this whole story, and then you'll see where this is going.
All right.
One speaker's pronoun described the conflict inside Zer, Z-I-R, not him or her, it's Zer, between Zer repugnance toward women, that is a Zer birth gender, and the disgust of being lumped into the alternate category of white male.
Wow. Shh. This is still, you know what? I might as well say, well, I identify as a rich lawyer.
Right.
And then I should be able to go to the bank and draw $100,000 out and, and then go try a case.
Sure.
Because that's what I'm saying I am now. This is fucking stupid.
Right. So basically what this boils down to is we all agree that men are bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
Antipathy toward men was a common theme. We heard from the speaker who, after 25 years of marriage as a man, transitioned to a female with a full support of his wife, to whom he remained married. For decades, he had taken the stairwell from work down to the parking lot. As a newly transgender woman, he heard the door close behind him and described feelings a woman would feel of fear for the first time. I had never had to feel fear before as a man, but now, for the first time as a woman, I felt a fear of all men that all women feel.
Why would you ever give up the gloriousness of being a dude?
I don't know.
I mean, white dude, that's fucking king of the food chain.
Yeah, so he was a guy. He took the stairwell every day, never had an issue. He changes over to a woman, and now he fears for his life going down his dark stairwell.
What's he think's going to happen? What's he afraid of?
Being
now
raped.
Get raped?
He's going to be raped now.
Really?
Yeah.
Trust me. If you look like every other tranny, no, you won't.
I learned Now get this. Here's the crux of this.
All right.
I learned it's illegal in my state to refuse to use someone's preferred pronoun.
What state is that? State of confusion?
Yeah. Almost every presenter had a story of a time they got a coworker, an employee, or a boss fired. A speaker pronouns XE, XYR, XM self passionately told us of a time when XE had an older coworker who referred to XM as a ma'am, when XE repeatedly told him he preferred to be referred to as XM. That's XEM. He responded that he couldn't because he had been brought up to be polite and use sir and ma'am. A quick visit to the supervisor resulted in the coworker being fired.
Fuck that.
There was,
you know what would have happened right after that? A gunshot in the parking lot.
Yep.
At 5:00.
Exactly.
Because there would be a murder needing to be happening.
Exactly. There was a standing ovation in the conference hall with one member of the audience saying how brave they were to enact change.
Fuck that. I'm never going back to the corporate world. Fuck that. I'd rather be homeless. There's nothing brave about that.
Yeah. XE publicly responded that XE needed to go above his head and get what I needed. You ever notice that liberals need to go through litigation and courts to enact change when the society or public won't accept it?
Yeah, because their change is idiotic.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So they have to make their change through legislative means. They can't enact change because it's an accepted practice. They have to get laws passed.
This is I hate fucking society. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Being outed is a constant fear for transgender, whether it's your voice or the stubble that gives you away, or a coworker or a document. One speaker pointed out that while bathrooms represented the most obvious way to be outed, using a male bathroom is also a gender-affirming character. Ultimately, transgender people want to even be in stealth to themselves with their birth certificate as the final reminder of the gender they were born with. I thought gender didn't matter.
Yeah, I thought that's what they said. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah. Currently, only 4 states in the United States allow people to alter their birth certificates to retroactively change their reality. Even after being...
Wait. To retroactively change their reality.
Yeah, so if you were born a male and you transgendered, you can go back and get your birth certificate changed to female.
That's not reality. That's your fantasy.
No, that's to change reality.
Yeah, that's called fantasy.
Yeah.
There's nothing real about that.
No, what it's saying, it's you're changing reality. The reality is you're a guy, but you're trying to change it.
Yeah. So you're playing fucking dress up.
Exactly.
You're playing fantasy. This is... Are we done with this story?
There's one paragraph.
I can't take it.
Even after being trained, I still have questions. If gender is not biological, then why do we think that someone who claims to be trans black is crazy? Under what moral standard do we prosecute polygamists? Why don't we consider depression or suicide adequate lifestyle choices? Why is transgender considered fulfilling life, but those with Down syndrome should be aborted? Apparently, the only thing society can agree on is that nothing's worse than being a straight white male.
Apparently. So this person is actually against this whole crazy?
Yeah, that whole article was to show how ridiculous that whole concept is.
I agree with that. It's bizarro world.
It is bizarro world.
Yeah.
But as long as people are weak and don't stand up against that and go along with it, whatever. But, but there are, as I mentioned, though, there are certain parts of the world that they won't accept that. It's just like, you know what? You got to die. I'm sorry. You can't be part of our society anymore.
You say that like there's certain parts like that's the minority. That's most of the world.
Yeah, not here in the States, though.
This is the one stupid place. I'm really not usually pro any other country. Really not. I am definitely a America-only guy. But America's got it all wrong when it comes to these fucking social issues. Just all wrong. Some of these places that are a little more hardcore and a little more old-fashioned, they got it right. And I'm not saying throw these fucking weirdos off of a fucking building, but you can just at least keep them away from me.
Yeah.
Fine with me. I mean, ugh. And the weird thing is I'm actually fine with people wanting to do playtime like this. Just don't fucking expect me to endorse it.
Right. Well, the problem that you and I and most people are going to face is if these people are successful in getting laws changed to where it makes it illegal, or you could be jailed or arrested or fined or whatever because you won't conform to their pronoun or whatever it is they choose. If you don't call a guy a girl and say, if you're just like what we do here on the show, you're a fucking guy, I'm calling the police.
Well, they can only get that enforced into the job world. Can't get it enforced.
Well, I don't know. In Canada, they do have laws up there that if you don't if you don't address somebody as their preferred pronoun, you could actually be arrested.
They don't have the freedoms of speech that we do, though.
That is true, but my point is that there are parts, other countries that do have laws that will fine you or you could be arrested or something because they consider that assault.
None of this will be enacted before my death. Thank God. This is just fucking stupid.
It is. I agree. All right. Well, I thought I'd finish that off and
well, that was something.
Yeah. Just messed up world we live in.
Yep, it is a disaster.
I'm glad we have a few very young listeners who hopefully might step up to the plate and try to help stave this off for future generations.
Yeah, end this nonsense.
Yeah. Just like, you know what? We're not putting up with this. We might be millennials or young people or whatever, but this is just stupid.
Civil war, baby. That's what's going to have to fix it.
We just need a cleansing.
We really do, and not the kind the Perfect Seven gives.
Yeah. It's terrible. All right, well, let's get out of here.
All right.
Appreciate everybody who's tuned in and been a part of the show tonight and all that good stuff. And I think an appropriate song to leave us would be the band Hair of the Dog.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave you with I Can't Fight You. So we will be back next Saturday. We'll do this thing all over again. So until next Saturday night, this is Neely along with my very good friend
Riz Egan.
We're gone.
Bye, kids.
Hey, this is Buddha the Hair Dog, and you're listening to my good fucking motherfucking goddamn friend Neely on the Classic Metal Show.